We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he under legitimate efforts of our Constitution does not become the next president again.
So I wanted to open up with that clip, so you just have that in the back of your mind. We're going to talk about something first, but clearly, right, we are living in the end times. And I've been saying this for many years, that we are on that end times train. We're moving in a certain direction, and you have to pay attention to what is going on in the world, because the Bible tells us how everything is going to play out. And Jesus says, when you see these things happening, look to the sky, for our redemption draweth nigh. Now, I told you guys during the pandemic, Nancy Pelosi and them, they tried to pass a digital currency, bill. And it's all leading to what? Obviously, we're going to have a one world currency at some point. The Bible says that in the book of Revelations, that, during that Antichrist system, you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark. They've already been warming you up, right? You can't come to the store unless you have, right? They're already warming you up, testing the waters to see. And so you have to understand the way that the enemy moves, little by little by little by little. And that's how the deception comes. Now, I remember back in the day when we were first talking about, getting chipped, people are like, oh, that would never happen. And now people are getting chipped. So now people say, well, that's not the mark of the beast. The point is, you thought that it would never happen, right? You thought like, oh, that's just some science fiction stuff. And then when it happens, people always try to downplay it because they don't want to believe that we are living in the end times. And so little by little, it always happens. We used to pay cash, all right? Then you got the debit card. Then you got the chip in the card. Now you got people actually getting chipped, paying for stuff with their palm. All right. Why is this dangerous? Because when we get a one world currency, when everything becomes digital, just like these electric cars, at the click of a button, if you don't bow down to the system, we'll turn off access to your money. You can't go pull money out of a mattress and pay for stuff. You won't even be able to pay at the gas station because everything will be digital. Now, what's going on in the world? One of the greatest mistakes America has made is replacing President Trump with President Joe Biden. One of the weakest presidents in American history. And guess what? The world is taking notice. The world is looking at America like a joke. I don't know if you guys seen that video that UFC fighter said, USA, what's happened to you? The eyes of the world have always been on America because America has been a great nation for a while. But slowly but surely, we've been turning into Sodom and Gomorrah and self-destructing. And make no mistake about it, the rest of the world is watching. They look at America as weak right now. We've got weak leaders, hypocritical leaders pushing certain agendas, becoming so politically correct, everything is acceptable to the point that eventually, the collisions are going to come. We're going to self-destruct. And the rest of the world knows this. Look at Africa. They said, we don't have an LGBTQ problem over here yet. That's what you crazy people are doing in America. Right? All these agendas we're pushing, and you got grown men dressed as women dancing in front of little kids. The rest of the world is laughing, and they're saying, yo, you guys are weak. And so they're making moves. So China's yuan, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is now the most traded currency in Russia for the first time, replacing the US dollar. Japan will now buy oil from Russia. The president of Kenya just told his citizens to get rid of US dollars. We're seeing the US dollar crash, and it's happening fast. India will now trade in rupees and get rid of the US dollar. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Russia, Iraq, Oman, Algeria are now going to reduce their oil production to balance the market, and Saudi Arabia will cut its production by 500,000 barrels per day. Do you know what that means? For the global picture, I'm telling you right now, we're moving on the end times train to an expected end that the book of Revelation already tells us about. We're watching the Bible unfold in front of our eyes. You have these different things that are going on in the world that are going to initiate other things. So when this happens, there's going to be a reaction. And because of all these different reactions, it's building the stage for the Antichrist to come in and the Antichrist system to come in. And the Bible says the spirit of the Antichrist is already moving in the earth. Now, here's the question. Is this by design or is it ignorance? That is the question. Are these elites in America and other places doing this on purpose for their hidden agendas? Make no mistake, I've told you guys this for years. I have to be careful what I say on YouTube nowadays, but there are people who try to play God. They think it's, their humanitarian, heart, oh, the world is overpopulated and we've got to preserve the earth. And so there's elites who feel it's their job to play God. Going back to the video that I posted at the beginning of this, they're so afraid of Trump. Why? They never thought he was going to be president in the first place. He surprised them and won because he messed up their agenda. First black president, pushed the gay agenda. Hillary Clinton was anointed, right, to be the next president. So black president, female president, then probably a gay president. She was going to push the feminist agenda. She was telling you what she was going to do with the Supreme Court justices. Trump came in, messed that up, put in 2 conservative judges, blocked a lot of stuff that they were doing. We got a season of grace. They said we can't allow that to happen. So we saw some things go down with the election. Biden becomes president. All of this begins to happen because they look at America as weak. And now they're trying to, they indicted Trump and they've, they want to get him charged with something so that he can't run again. And you've seen it out of Biden's mouth. They know that if he runs, he's going to win. Why do they know that? Because they know the truth. And individuals, they know what they did. Wake up. I thought you guys should be aware of this information. Hey, now is not the time to play around. Just know this. Why is this important? Because the Bible is unfolding in front of our eyes. We're living in the end times. Get right with God. Seek God. Be praying. Be fasting. And just make sure what you have with God is real. That's the bottom line. That's why you need this information. Because the Bible is not a lie. It's not a fairy tale. It's the truth. Y'all be blessed. Be encouraged. Pray for this world. Pray for this nation. Pray for our leaders.